Yeah.
And with that, Bull, let's talk a little Terry Francona.
Yeah.
Because what he said yesterday is pretty damning.
A couple of things. Well, I don't know about damning. What do you mean damning?
Well, like pretty steadfast.
What he's doing. First of all, let me just talk about the team for a second because they lost again to the Twins.
And then we have the soundbite.
They're 7 games out of first, 11 games out of the wild card. The season's over. This is going to be Terry Francona's worst season as a manager since he was with the Phillies in the 90s. So the worst the Guardians have ever been with Terry Francona was 80 and 82 a few years ago. They're not winning 80 games this year. They got, 139. You got 23 games left. They'd have to go 14-9 to win 80. And they're not going for it. No, I think I'm wrong. I think my math is wrong there. 139. Yeah, 23 games left. 14-9. I guess I was right. They're not going 14-9.
Don't second guess yourself, Bull. You know math.
I was right. 14-9. They're not going to go 14-9. They stink. They're awful. They're terrible. The moves they made didn't do any good. They choked again yesterday, and the manager's gone, guys. He speculated about it a few weeks ago, but then yesterday this was on MLB Radio. Who was interviewing him here for MLB Radio?
You know what? Bad job out of me because I'm not sure, but we have the soundbite. So,
all right, this is from MLB Radio.
Sound on. We can play this. This is Terry Francona on MLB Radio yesterday.
I think I've been pretty clear with people. I don't want to have the last month be a send-off or pity party, or that's not how I feel. But I'm it's time, and my body's telling me that, my head's telling me that, and I don't want to stay on for the wrong reasons. And I hope I have too much respect for not just the game, but for this organization to do that. And so I've been pretty clear with the guys I work for and told them to start preparing because it's.
So that's it. I mean, that's about as official as it gets.
And I'm mad about it.
Why?
I'm really mad. I'm mad not at the fact that he's retiring. Like I understand, he got a lot of stuff going on, but I'm mad at the way the Guardians did this, man, because I feel like it was like a spit in the face this whole season. Like they started off with such high expectations. Things went south. You trade all his guys away at the trade deadline, leave him with nothing. Then y'all go out there, lose 20-6 to the freaking Twins. Then y'all trying to fight back. Y'all blow a game last night. It's just like the whole thing to me just been like if y'all trying to send somebody off, like if you care about somebody and want to send somebody off, right, that is not the way to do it. And it just seems just like a disrespectful spit in the face.
Man.
Like this has been one of the worst seasons in this whole thing. Like this terrible, man.
We've all been, it's all coming back to roost, man.
Because they don't want to pay nobody.
It's just, listen, it's the way you do business. That's the sound of a broken man trying to cover for the people who don't have a choice in the matter. He's saying to you, listen, I done came in here, I done gave all I had, I put it on the line, my body is tired, and I can't keep going through this knowing that you guys are trying to celebrate the fact that we broke and won't pay nobody, and you sitting here telling me we got the best, we've been doing the best in the city, and we got the best front office. If you name who's on your team and the first person you say is the front office, I'm tired of hearing Antonetti. Like, think about this. We praised this dude like he's hitting home runs. Chernoff and Antonetti and what good people. And, look, bro, they've been selling you a bill of goods for 10 years. And I love them to death, too, because they are nice people. But when a dude at the top of the food chain refuses to play this like it's a sport and using it, this reminds me of Family Dollar. This might as well be family because he's running like a business. Well, I mean, and I want a profit margin.
But while I agree with you, and I'm as down on the Guardians as I've been in it. Since 2012, before Francona took over, when they lost like 90 games that year, they were horrible. Since then, this is the most down I've ever been on the team. And you're right, mostly what you said. But I'll go even further, G. The front office deserves criticism too, because there are other. Like the Tampa Bay Rays, their ownership doesn't spend any money either. And they're still good this year. The last couple of years, last year was an anomaly. The Guardians got lucky. They got a lot of luck. We talk about turnover luck. Yeah. Well, there's luck in baseball too. Why is one team 1 year win a ton of one-run games and the next year they lose a ton of one-run games. Why is that? Oh, some of it's just luck. You're playing 162 games. The ball bounces your way, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think the Guardians got very lucky. But they have constructed this team poorly. Yes, they've got some good, young, talented pitching, but they've got very little else. Their lineup is awful. Awful.
They got
Jose
people off the
Ramirez has had a
streets.
bad second half. Andres Jimenez has been a disaster in his first year on his big contract. And listen, I think we've learned that the big dollar contracts for 30-year-old players are bad.
Yes.
And so the Guardians shouldn't go crazy spending like that. But you need to spend on 20-year-olds. You need, even if it's short-term deals, even if it's one-year deals on guys that are 28, 29, where you're spending a lot of money for the. Nobody's asking them to sign a bunch of 10-year, $300 million contracts, but at the very least, have a couple of 2-year, $60 million. 3 years, $75 million. Like, have some big, smaller contracts on guys, like, and stop shopping at the friggin' bargain basement. And for Francona to go out like this with this pathetic team. Pathetic.
It's a spit in the face.
It is. It really is.
And think about it. How could we see? That's what happens when you operate like this. Because while you're always kicking the can down the road,
yeah.
the people that is really solid in your organization is getting older year by year. Now, Jose, how old is he?
I think he's about to turn 30.
He's not young anymore.
He's not. He's not in what we would call his prime.
He is, but he's towards the end.
He's towards the end. So even a guy for like Hosey, right?
Yeah.
He like, yo, I gave you a discount.
I'm telling you.
What did you do with
turns
the bread?
31 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's about to turn 31, Jose.
He's about to be turning 31.
Put it in their pocket.
We had the manager. We had the prospects. But the prospects, you managed them so terrible, you wouldn't even flip the prospects to get guys that can help you now.
And when you have a low payroll, there's no margin for error, right? There's none. You can't make any significant mistakes. And the last couple of years, they had, as G's right, they had all this prospect capital.
Oh, yeah.
And most of it's worth nothing now because the guys have either done nothing in the majors or whatever. Now, listen, Bo Naylor's played pretty well. And Gabriel Arias has done a nice job during it. But it's not enough to do it for a month. You got to do it for a full season. And their lineup is horrible.
And
horrible.
to me,
what's that?
To me, kind of what's most frustrating about that is some of the guys they were rumored to be dangling some of these prospects for have been phenomenal where they landed. Like Sean Murphy, the catcher.
We wanted him last year.
I said I wanted Sean Murphy. I said I wanted Brian Reynolds. Remember before the year I said the Cubs ended up doing this. I said the Guardians should sign Cody Bellinger for 1 year.
He's been great.
Guy's having a borderline MVP season.
And Sean Murphy might be the best catcher in baseball right now.
Yeah.
And Bo Naylor's been good, don't get me wrong, but Murphy right now is significally better than Bo Naylor. They were on the Matt Olson deal. Matt Olson leads the majors.
Matt Olson, they were talking with him. Right. Matt Olson's an MVP type of player.
And all these guys, you said, these long contracts don't always pan out. But
right.
Those guys aren't on 10-year contracts yet.
Well, Matt Olson's on a long contract, but they re-signed him. But you know what? Even if you hadn't, so you'd had him for a couple of years, okay. Like, you can't, man, you can't just, if you always shop in the bargain basement, eventually it's going to catch up with you, and that's what's happened now. And even Josh, now they're going to get screwed because Josh Bell may now opt out of his contract, and then they traded him for nothing because he's had now I don't know if he's going to, but the reason the Guardians traded Josh Bell is because he was having a terrible year. They didn't want to pay him next year because it was a lot of money, but he's had a great second half with Miami, and he may now opt out of his contract, maybe. And if he does, then they got screwed in that trade.
I mean, in your best pitchers, this is crazy. They won't look at Allen, Bybee, or Williams. They're not gonna look at trading them because they cover them. But the painful thing is, you can only sign one of them, and you probably won't do that.
That's a fact.
Yeah, they don't sign pitchers.
That's a fact.
Like, think about it. So they won't make a move when we love our pitching. They could get 2-3 bats with one of them dudes. But guess what? You got to come to the conclusion, and people will start to be savvy.
Yeah.
We understand that they're not going to be here, but while you have control of them, you either make the team better so we can win while they're here, and then let them go, or move them and get somebody so we can win now.
And by the way, to compare them to the Rays again, because they're similar organizations, the Rays have to keep winning in the American League East, which is the best division in baseball.
Right.
The Guardians are in the worst division in baseball by far.
I'll tell you what.
By far. Like early in the year, we were saying NL Central, AL Central. But now the Brewers are 15 games over 500. The Cubs are 11 games over 500. And even the Reds are like 4 or 5 games over 500.
Just be competent and you can win this division.
The
Just
AL
competent.
Central is hideous. But it's not going to stay that way forever. Eventually, some of these other teams will get better. And
Do you think that's lulled them to sleep a little bit?
100%. I think it's played a big factor. They're like, well, Detroit stinks, Kansas City stinks, the White Sox are a disaster. We only have to compete with the Twins. We can't spend a ton of money anyway, so why should we go crazy? I think they've gotten lazy. Yes.
I tell you what, I thought
They've gotten cocky and lazy.
I thought that the way that LeBron James went out his last year in Cleveland was a spit in the face, where they traded everybody at the deadline and said, "Here, go to the finals with that."
That was crazy.
And he still did it. But this is way worse.
Well, to your point, it was even, to me, the disgrace started when they traded Kyrie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he told him not to. Yeah.
I mean, don't trade Kyrie for friggin' Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah freaking Thomas.